Hello and welcome to this episode of West Coast Supercars and Classics. I'm Mark. Hope you're all having a great day. You might be asking yourselves why I'm out in a beautiful setting here above the Saanich Inlet with a beautiful 1980 Alfa Romeo Spider Veloce. Of course, I'm out here today to enjoy the scenery in a beautiful classic Italian sports car. Now, you might be thinking that this car belongs to a collector and I borrowed it from the collector for the day, but that's not the case. As a matter of fact, you can take this car out for a drive as well if you so desire, and there's a wonderful catch to it. The catch is that this is available to the guests of the wonderful Villa Eyrie Resort, which I'm in the middle of right now. All 106 acres of the territory of this amazing resort above the Malahat Highway. And as you can see, we're just above the Saanich Inlet, and that's the Saanich Peninsula here on Vancouver Island, just outside Victoria, BC. And what better way to spend some quality time than in a classic sports car? And before I tell you more about the Villa Eyrie Resort and the car, I do want to thank the staff at the resort, Don for making the car look beautiful today, and Alexander, the general manager, for allowing me to do this. So thank you once again. Now let's have a good look at the Spider Veloce. These were produced from the 1960s right into the 1990s. So they went through many different versions. This particular one is a 1980, so it has a just over a 1900cc four-cylinder engine. So they call it a Spider Veloce 2000, so they're using 2000 cc's. So it's a nice lightweight two-seater front engine rear-wheel drive classic coupe. Still looks absolutely gorgeous today. The body's by Pininfarina, of course, the famous Italian coach builder. This one has been restored by the famous restoration company Coachworks, which is actually in Victoria, BC. No front bumpers on this. You notice the front grille? That's quite nicely done. That's the sort of thing you see from a very fine company. Details like that. The chrome is all in immaculate condition. There's almost all the chrome on the car is really beautiful. Just a little bit on the taillight that looks a little bit worn. Look at that beautiful chromed door handle. Just slide your finger in there. So you have a nice sort of burgundy red interior. Doors nicely finished. Very simple but very nice. I noticed, for example, the door handle is nice and solid. The doors are solid. They close very nicely. You got the flashing and the door sill here. Got a nice wooden Alfa Romeo steering wheel. Let's just hop behind the wheel so you can see the dashboard here. Okay. So you have your tachometer on the left, your speedometer on the right. The tachometer rather optimistically goes up to 8,000 RPM, and there's no red line indicated, but I wouldn't even think of trying to go close to that. I actually don't know what the red line is. I'm guessing probably between 5 and 6, maybe a bit higher. We'll talk about the engine just in a moment. There's the rest of it. You got your fuel, oil pressure, and your water temperature there. You got a Nakamichi stereo here, which is very nice, and obviously aftermarket JBL speakers, ventilation controls, quite a lot of the normal things that you would find, and you have a choke here. Now I believe this is mechanically fuel injected. Well, you got an ashtray here too. That's of course de rigueur for those days. The most interesting thing is this shifter, which is plunked right into the console. Normally, you know, you would expect to find it down here somewhere, but it's way up there on the dash. I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to feel when you drive it a bit more. So far it seems fine to get into gear. The big thing I noticed right away is the space between the brake and the pedal. I've got just like some standard trail runners on right at the moment, but I barely have any room to get in here with my foot, so it's tight in there. So if you are planning to come and drive the car, make sure you've got some narrower shoes, like any kind of good footwear should work, but don't wear like big huge shoes, because you might have trouble squeezing your foot in there to the right of the brake pedal. All right, let's have a look at the motor. Let's just pull that release lever, and the hood's going to pop out here. It's front hinging hood. And there's a little rod that comes up from here. I just put that in because I needed to hold the camera with my other hand, so I didn't show you that. Okay. I believe the engine makes about 120 horsepower in this current configuration, so it should be sufficiently peppy because the car is quite light. It actually weighs around 2,200 pounds. By today's standards, well, that would put it in the same category as a Mazda Miata or something, first generation Mazda Miata, maybe a little bit more horsepower. And obviously more displacement, because at 2 liters, the original Miata was 1.6 liters and it went to 1.8, so this would have a little bit more displacement. Let's go around and have a look at the trunk. It's quite nice because this trunk size is, well, you can see the back of the car, it's quite large. Let's go around the back here. Now, the release for the trunk is found right by the driver's seat. Once you open the door, it's a little lever which is lockable, and this simply lifts right up. Now, the trunk is good size. Of course, it's got some car covers in here, which I assume that if you asked the management if you needed to go for a picnic and you wanted to put some things in the trunk, they would probably remove those car covers for you. They just happen to be in there right now. All right, I think it's time to take this for a drive. Let's go for a little cruise. Beautiful day today, September 11th, 2019. Let's go do some sightseeing. All right, let's go and turn around up there. These seats feel tiny compared to your normal sports seats in modern cars. It's just the way they were back in those days. Not a bad turning radius, actually. As we're driving down these little roads here, we're still in the Villa Eyrie Resort. It's a huge property. It has several buildings and several hotel buildings, in fact. I just want to show you the interior of the Alpina restaurant here at the Villa Eyrie Resort, and in particular, it's got some rather beautiful scenery out here. Let's go and have a look out the patio here. Exit. Okay, we don't have to go that way. Great, we will go this way. See, a 4-cylinder engine can sound good. I like the Miata engine. I like this engine too. Brushing the synchros a bit, maybe. Yeah, there's just something about sports cars, isn't there? You can have the wind in your hair if you want, but I'm going to keep my cap on for now. Where is third gear? That's third gear. Feels like a nice ride in this car. It's nice and comfortable. feels good. Steering's nice and light, responsive. Plus, you're looking good too when you're driving it, right? That counts for something. There's a lake called Spectacle Lake, which is up that way, but you turn off to the right onto Epidora Lane to get to the Villa Eyrie Resort. Now we got the choice between going up island, which is north, or down south. So we could go to Victoria down this way. It doesn't take very long, about a half hour. But we're not going to go that far. Where's that third gear? I've driven this road quite a bit here and there. I like the tossability. The car feels so light. The speedometer looks like it's in miles per hour. Exactly what you want a car like this for. And this is what? This is like 30 seconds from the Villa Eyrie. That's crazy. You can literally book this car, you know, get up in the morning at your villa, have your breakfast, have the car ready, warmed up, hop into it, off you go. You're doing a nice country drive. Amazing. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little mini tour in the Alfa Romeo Spider Veloce, compliments of the Villa Eyrie Resort in Vancouver Island, just outside Victoria, BC. Thanks again to the Villa Eyrie Resort for everything, for hooking me up with the car today. It's always a pleasure. Go to villaeyrie.com for the website for bookings and information. As I say, they have several restaurants up here, so you should check it out sometime. One of our favorite places to come for brunch, actually. And of course, as always, thank you for watching West Coast Supercars and Classics. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.